Let's start with you first of all, Hannah, and tell us, what was the
Hello,
leap
Peter.
moment when you decided to go into this business of yours, and where were you and what were you doing at the time?
I'd probably say I was sitting in my car in a car park, and I had just been offered a full-time graduate law position. And during the interview, they gave me a month to decide between the business or the job. So for me, it was a phone call with my dad, and he gave me some amazing advice. And he actually said, "Do what makes you time rich." And for me, that was all I needed, the leap to just give it a go.
How about you, Susanna?
Peter, I was living and working in Los Angeles. I had an idea that I thought might one day become something. Took me 3 years to have the guts to actually move home to Australia to see if I could make a go of this thing. And eventually I arrived at a point where the risk of saying what if for a lifetime outweighed the risk of actually giving this thing a shot.
How about you, Bridie? What about you?
I was working as a teacher, but I was a crushed creative. It was really a sliding doors moment where I wanted to make art, but also inspire other people to make art and to encourage them to follow their creative journeys.
Okay, let's go to the next
love
question I've
that.
got for you. What prepared you for the risks involved as an entrepreneur, small business owner? Let's start with you, Bridie.
So I don't find that I actually fear risk, and I don't fear failure. I've got a bit of a saying that you can fix a bad blog, you can fix a bad product, you can fix a bad story, but you can't fix something that was never made. So I'm always getting it done and making sure that I have something to work with. That takes away the risk. The risk is sometimes we get stuck in starting. So get it made, implement change, and work it out as we go.
How about you, Susanna?
I really love that saying, Bridie. You can't fix something that's not been created. I think the advice that I got was get out of your own way. So not fearing failure and rather seeing it as feedback and being willing to take the plunge.
Hannah?
Yeah, so I remember seeing on stage one day at an event that the fear of failure killed more dreams than failure itself. And that really hit home with me. But honestly, I just winged it the whole time and had actually no idea of the risks. So things like we were robbed one day, and I didn't even have insurance for the stock. It's something that I think, when you're a business owner, you can't know it all. And so you could just go in blindly and you have to make it up as you go. So I think, naivety is great sometimes when you start a business.
Yeah, you might not do it if anyone tells you all the things that can go wrong. Okay, so then my next question to all of you is, what was the best piece of advice you received which you still use and live by today? Susanna, what's yours?
It was a really beautiful quote from Murray that I will butcher if I try and repeat it word for word, but it was all to do with commitment. And it was really this idea that until you truly deeply go all in, pretty much everything you do in life and in work will be a little bit ineffective and inefficient. And it's not until you really dive deep and give all of yourself that the world moves for you. There's a little bit of it that whatever you can do or dream, do it, because there is magic in boldness. And I really believe that's true, that when I have really, really committed, it is amazing the sorts of good luck that actually comes your way.
How about you, Hannah?
I would probably say, and I always come back to it, is trust your gut, trust your intuition. Often my head has gotten in the way of so many things, and I've known deep down that it wasn't right for the business. So that'd probably be one of the key bits of advice.
Bridie?
Probably you will get stronger the longer you go, not the faster. So we can be so caught up in having things happen now and watching everyone else's show reels that we only see the best bits of. Some things take time, and that is okay. If it is your dharma to be doing what you're doing, it will all come to you, and, it'll be a beautiful journey, but it's one that may take time.
Okay. What about the advantages of being a female business owner, Bridie?
In so many ways. Look, we are natural connectors and communicators. We can build community. We can approach people and get such warmth and rawness across in a beautiful way. And one thing that, we're not overlooked anymore. Our intuitive nature and the way that we can see things in a global sense is a superpower. And it's something that's taken a while for women in business to really lean into because we are new to this area. But I find certain attributes that I have, my business would not be the same if it was run by a man.
Okay, Susanna, what about you?
I think it's really great to see some of these feminine leadership traits coming to the fore. I lent on them very heavily through COVID. I think I have some masculine leadership traits that have stood me in really good stead, like drive and a bit of competitiveness, a bit of white line fever. And equally, those feminine leadership traits were the ones that I really needed to lean on when the going got tough. Empathy, intuition, creativity, and certainly that honesty and transparency and clarity and communication style that you were talking about, Bridie, that ability to be both warm and clear and deeply connected all at once.
I also find women are great listeners, and that's a really good thing for leaders and also for being in business.
I agree with Bridie. I think that the thing that has really stood my business, well, is our culture. And I think being a bit more empathetic, a bit more emotional. I actually have a team of 60 women, so we don't employ any men. Just because I think we have such a culture that we are passionate, and I think that femininity is really, I guess, nurtured within the business. And yeah, I think we're our own worst enemy sometimes. It's our limiting beliefs that actually hold us back. One of the girls showed this video recently, which was around kicking like a girl. I think it's on YouTube. And it was just amazing in that it's our own belief in, we kick like a girl, but actually we can kick like ourselves. And our sex doesn't define us. So I think, seeing more and more women in business is just so awesome, and those limiting beliefs are going.
One last one. Was there a business that you held up as a role model, in a sense, a beacon that's actually affected your vision and has partly explained your success?
For me, definitely. Samantha Wills, she's about 10 years older than me, and it was when I was, I think, 12 or 13, making jewellery and thought, man, this would be amazing to do this all the time. I think it was a TV show, a documentary around how she'd gone from Bondi markets to New York. And it's funny, just having that one person who had done it was the hope that I needed to get me through the next 10 years. And, I brought my own finesse to it. It wasn't like I aspired to be her, but the fact that someone had paved the way was seriously inspiring. So yeah, Samantha Wills, she's another jewelry designer. She's retired now and doing other things. Yeah. And now I actually talk to her on a daily basis, and it's awesome.
Yeah, fantastic story that is. Susanna, what about you?
I wish I'd been as clever as to seek out other businesses in our sector that were doing amazing things and to learn more from them earlier. I've always been very, very inspired by other entrepreneurs, but there wasn't a single business that I looked at and I thought, wow, if I could emulate elements of that, I think we've really got something here.
Okay, what about you, Bridie?
Well, mine I've sort of flipped. So rather than looking for a big brand or a well-known business to follow, I really look to my customers who are small businesses and look to their strengths and look to their pains in business and engage with them, because I was that person. I was the creative who was having panic attacks and needing an outlet. So I identify with my customers who are looking for a bit of stillness in their world. So it's their businesses, their growing businesses that are now exporting overseas and doing amazing things that we're banded together to, evolve the whole industry, not just my business.
Well, I tell you what, you got me, all of you got me very excited. I look forward to delving deeper into your individual stories as this program evolves.